Hello, today is January 4th, 2018. I'm meeting today with Mr. Charles Linhart at his home in Fort Collins, Colorado. My name is Brad Hoops. I'm the interviewer for the Northern Colorado Veterans History Project. Welcome, Chuck, and thanks for sitting down today to tell your story.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Good. Well, let's start out. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your date of birth, where you were born, a little bit about your family.
Okay. I was born July 24th, 1923, in Chicago, Illinois. At that time, my grandparents had a two-story building, and of course, we lived in the top floor, and with Grandma and Grandpa downstairs, and I being the first one in the family, why, kind of favored me.
Yeah.
And they spoiled me rotten. I didn't mind. I liked it. But yeah, and there too, I went to school, and that was Gary School, and as a regular, what do you call it? From first to 8th grade, and then I went to Farragut High School, and well, after that, why?
Now, you said you were the first. You had brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had a brother,
Uh-huh.
and of course I had two brothers, but one had passed away about 2 weeks after birth.
Okay.
And that too, I didn't even get to see him. But then again, now my brother, I don't know whether he's still living or not.
Is that right?
Because we were great skiers here, and this is one of the reasons I moved from Illinois to here, especially Fort Collins, where we met a lot of people in Steamboat Springs, and there, over time, I bought a condo there, and I got acquainted with a lot of people. In fact, I was on the board there for a while, and
wow.
And I says, people took me around Fort Collins and that, geez. At that time already, we were only married a year, and I thought, well, how it was. Now we come out here, and I met one of the fellows that was associated with Wood West. That's this area here, and he showed me pictures at homes and that,
Well, I'll tell you what, Chuck. Let's put this story back to the post-war years. And
all right.
So, now, what did your father do for a living?
Oh, my father had a butcher shop there.
Oh, okay.
You see that picture there?
Yeah.
All right. And I hate to say it, but he taught me a lot, but I never had fun with him. I mean, it was always work, because
right.
he shut the shop down at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and it was my job to clean up the floors. And at that time, they used to put sawdust on the floor. Mm-hmm. So I had to pick up all the sawdust and then replenish the supply with a fresh batch. Then, before that, I had to scrape the chopping blocks, get all the meat off, because he taught me how to skin calves, all right, and even the pigs, and that too, of course. In them days, well, you didn't have the inconveniences that you have today.
Right.
So I had to stand on a chair and skin a calf, and get it ready, while other kids were out playing baseball, marbles, and this, that, and the other. After school, I had to go to the shop.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's why I talked to my dad, and he said, no, I'm going to teach you how to handle this, how to cut meat and all. He said, and what could I say? I followed instructions of that.
Well, now
Another thing is, he turned out to be an alcoholic.
Oh boy.
And here, my mother had divorced him when I was only 14 years old. So that too, I didn't feel that I lost that much, you know, but I didn't have a father any longer.
Right, sure.
Because he moved out of the house and that, and of course we were living with my grandparents, so we had a place to live yet, and well, my mother had it pretty rough, you know, then taking care of my brother and me, and that's quite expensive for her.
Yeah, yeah.
So I, after school, I had a paper route. Before I went to school, and after school, another paper route in order to help her, you know, because my father never paid any child support. So my mother worked her butt off, and she, you know, she did house cleaning, and, well, I felt sorry for her, so that I had to go to work.
Yeah.
And that too. Well, maybe it was a good thing because I learned how to do a lot of things. You
Yeah,
know?
right.
And that too, that I can remember.
I'll be darned. Yeah.
But what happened 5 minutes ago?
That's
I can't
right.
say.
So then you went through the schools there in Chicago and graduated. And
Yeah.
what year did you graduate high school?
Good, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember.
Had the war started?
No, I didn't graduate high school.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
I only went to the third year.
Okay.
And then I went and I got a job at Binks Manufacturing Company. Well, they put me in a receiving department. I didn't know anything, but I did know a little bit about mechanics and this, that, and the other, you know. And I think I was in a receiving room only a couple of months. And I helped one of the fellows in the maintenance department fix something, you know. And before you know it, well, I was transferred from there into the maintenance department. So then I started doing a pretty good job. And in fact, to make a long story short, the supervisor over maintenance, he had retired, and they put me in charge. I hate to brag, but I love it because, you know, at least I was making a little more money than anybody else. So that too. And I worked for Binks 45 years.
Wow.
Can you
So
imagine?
was this
Never a day off.
was this so this was after the war, or
Before the war. Before the war.
but you said you worked for 45 years. Did you take a break? You went back to work after the
Oh
war?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
All right.
I was about to be drafted.
Okay.
And that, of course, I had my girlfriend,
Yeah.
my wife,
Uh-huh.
and we just celebrated our 71st wedding anniversary. But I said, you know, we both love dancing. That's where I met her at Pilsen Park in Chicago. There was a dance hall they had there, and she was of Bohemian descent also,
Okay,
so we got along real well.
Yeah.
And then I was about to be drafted. So I thought, well, I liked hunting. So I joined the infantry. And so that too. I joined the infantry, and of course, you know, that too, we got pretty well connected. And Ag and I, and when I left, we went to Camp Butner. That's where I did my basic training. She wrote me every day. So then when it was too bad, I didn't write her every day, maybe once a week or so, because, well, we were in
busy.
training,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. And then, of course, when we got into the Army and that, through basic training, I was put in the 3rd Division. And
Well, now, how was that for you? How was that? Here's a boy from Chicago, a civilian, going into the Army. How was that transition for you, going into the service and basic training and such? Was that much of an adjustment for you, or?
Well, yeah. Well, I was used to doing things myself.
That's what I
and
thought,
being
yeah.
bossed around.
Yeah,
And, you
right.
know, you were afraid to turn around or, you know, you're going to get gigged or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then you get acquainted with a couple of the guys and they're pretty friendly. And we used to moan and groan about this, that, and the other, you know. But it all worked out pretty well after basic training. Then, of course, here, they put me, I was in a 78 Division at first. And after being with them for a while, they had transferred me to the 30th Infantry, the 3rd Division. And then, to make a long story short, they put us on a boat. Of course, I don't know why I'm going a little too fast
That's
with
fine,
that,
yeah.
but anyway.
Well, now let me back up a little bit. I wanted to ask you about your girlfriend. How did you guys leave that? You know, I mean, you're going off to God knows where, and if you're even going to come back. How did you and your how was that? Well, first, how was it leaving your girlfriend? And two, how did you guys? Were you engaged? Did you leave it at that, or you were just dating?
No, we weren't engaged. We were just close friends.
Oh, okay,
You know,
okay.
Do the dancing and that,
Okay.
and we were having a lot of fun. And
Okay.
Then she liked the cars I had, and she got free rides. And well, we fell in love. Let's face it. We fell in love, and then.
But you just left it as a girlfriend situation.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. So then, you know, it through the Army and that, like I say, she wrote me every day. Wow. Especially when we were in combat.
Wow.
And of course, we didn't get mail every day.
Yeah, right.
We had a stack at a time,
Right.
you know. So, we had nothing to do but read, and I was happy that she was doing that, you know. And of course, like I say, I feel bad about it now that poor thing, she's in this her home, this her Bellevue Heights, and she doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
She doesn't recognize me any longer, and that too. Of course, I have to travel 80 miles in order to go visit her. Well, my daughter Renee, she's a registered nurse, and she said, "Well, Dad, I could visit Mom every day or so, every second day, depending on my work schedule and that." She said, because they didn't have anybody here in Fort Collins with advanced Alzheimer's disease.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take care of it
Sure.
anymore,
Oh, sure.
you know,
Yeah.
and she got lost the keys of the mailbox, and that too, the people had to bring her home and that, and the doctor said, "That's enough, Chuck."
Yeah,
He says, because at that time, he knew me pretty well.
Yeah.
I liked hunting, and I had my guns, you know, and he said, you know, he
Right,
said, that gun of yours, he says, you better hide it.
Yeah.
I said, why? He said, does Aggie know where the gun is? I said, oh, yeah. I said, I sure know where it is. And he said, change your place. And I remember. He said, put it away. I said, why? He said, something might happen.
Yeah.
He didn't say, you know, but that too.
Yeah.
Because she used to get kind of revved up every now and then going shopping and that, you know.
Right. Well,
she had quite a temper.
Yeah.
But, hey, I learned to live with it, no problem. With me, she was different, but somebody else, they couldn't cross her, you know. And now she, too, in the home, she gives the doctors a whack, and she doesn't like to be touched. And here she got girls taking care of her, why she pushes them away. And that, too. Renee says there are times where Mom is feeling pretty good, but she has awful bad days also.
Right.
And, well, like I say, you know, now that I come to visit her, why she doesn't recognize me. She's looking at the floor, and I'm talking, and, well, this is to be expected.
Yeah.
So,
well, getting back to your story.
Yeah.
So you said you shipped off to Europe. Where did you guys?
We landed.
Where did you depart from? Do you remember? New York. Boston?
I don't remember where.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
know we went as a group.
In a convoy?
Yeah.
And that begs the question, here's a landlocked boy from Chicago, Illinois going to sea. How was that trip for you? Do you remember, did you get your sea legs, or how was that crossing?
No, it was kind of fun.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure was an
I,
adventure.
I never was on a boat
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
and yeah, we sailed there and we landed in France, and well, here,
So this was, you landed after D-Day then?
no, we were in combat.
When did you,
45.
oh, okay, yeah. So,
45,
okay, so
yeah.
D-Days had already landed and we were in France.
Yeah.
We were on the continent.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Uh-huh.
And they already had, France was already covered.
Okay, okay.
So we landed in France.
Okay.
And we stayed there about 3 weeks. And they're getting everything ready for us, and they didn't tell us where they were going. They didn't tell us where we were going. It was all secret, And then, of course, we had our full field packs, like we all usually do, but no ammunition or anything of that sort, And well, then they sent us someplace else. We actually made the landing. Before making landing, they stopped somewhere and they loaded us with all our material, our ammunition and rifles and all, and they loaded us down. We had a full field pack to begin with, and me, at that time, I only weighed 140 pounds, and they loaded me up with, ammunition and all. And that too, in basic training, I first I was a rifleman. Well, that too, everybody starts out that way. I was a pretty good shot. Like I say, I hate to brag, but I love it.
Yeah.
A pretty good shot. I got medals there to prove it.
Yeah, I saw those, yeah.
And I says, we got to talk to the major and that, and we got pretty friendly, and he said, he said, a pretty good shot. He said, we need a bazooka man. I said, what's that? And he said, well, come on and I'll show you, So he showed me the bazooka. Have you ever seen one? It's like a stovepipe.
Yeah, yeah.
And it fires rockets. And then that too, I had an ammunition bearer that carried my ammunition where I had the bazooka.
Uh-huh.
And the bazooka and the equipment that I carried with it, it weighed just about as much as I. So it was hard for me. But that too, they put us on a ship, and we made the Anzio beachhead landing.
I don't know. Talk about that. I'm not aware of that.
Oh yeah, it's in Italy.
Oh.
It's in Italy. There, we went from France, we stopped a couple of places in France before we got we got ready for combat.
Uh-huh.
And then we got on a landing barge, right, on a ship, and of course they had a landing barge, and we got on that, and we made the landing there in Anzio.
Oh, Anzio. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that too, that was hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, it was. Of course, I didn't feel bad then because it was like hunting,
Yeah, yeah.
And we didn't have, at first, we didn't have much action at all. We had to drill foxholes and slit trenches for the bazooka men. They had to build slit trenches. They're like 90-degree partitions, And my ammunition bearer, I can remember his name, is Escalani. And, of course, it was easy to remember because if you mention Hiskey in Bohemian, that's nice.
Oh.
So it was Escalani, and, it was easy to remember. So he was with me in the slit trench with the bazooka. Well, there's a lot of in between, but I'm trying to cut this short. And that too is when he went out to do a big job, and I I was writing Aggie a letter. So it was, because he didn't have a girlfriend, so he'd like to read what I got, So, well,
Yeah.
we didn't know we were coming back or that,
Right.
being in combat. And he used to get a big bang on that. He said, "Oh, you must really love this girl." I said, "Yeah, I love her more and more every time she sends me a letter." And we're talking like that. Well, he had to leave and do a big job. Well, he left for a little while, and then he come back, and I heard him come in at a Slittridge. I said, "Well, it's about time you come back." And I got a mumble. And there it was, a German.
Oh.
Yeah. And my pistol was on the other side because I took off the belt and everything because there was no action, Here, German soldier had jumped in my slit trench, and I thought it was Escalante. I said, "Well, it's about time." And he just, I turned around and, he's coming towards me, And that chain over there, you see that chain down there, the one? That saved my life. Because he come towards me, I couldn't even get to my pistol, and I right away went to hug him, and that beads, that's what they use for cleaning their rifles. It fell across my wrist, and I wound around my hand like this there and got him around the neck and dropped him down on his knees, and I held it till Escalante come. And he said, "What do you got there?" I said, "It's a German." He said, "Holy crap." He said, I don't know if he's dead or not, but I says, you check him out, because I was still shaking, and that too. Well, they come and picked him up, the medics, and he was dead. I had rings around my hands, how tightly I pulled that beads, and they didn't break or anything. And like I say, they saved my life at that time. So that too, we were there. I'd say about 3 or 4 weeks in that same area, and here too, I'm writing a letter to Aggie again, and he hollers, "Hey Chuck, here comes a tank." I said, "Where?" He said, "Right in front of us." And he was about 100 feet away. So here he gets a bazooka and loads it, and and that too, I pointed out when we were in training, they taught you to hold that bazooka real tight, because when you fire it, it's a rocket that's going out through that pipe. And he said, you got to hold them real tight or it'll blow out of your hand. Well, being all excited and everything about the tank coming towards us and only 100 feet away, he loaded me up and I grabbed it, and what happened is I fired it. And of course, the bazookas wasn't like they are today. I saw them today and they're beautiful. Well, it was like a funnel with the tip cut off and to obstruct the flash, But when it flew out of my hands, I got the flash. And it knocked me out. It knocked me across the, from what they tell me. And I didn't know what happened. I woke up at the medical center there and the hospital. And I was blinded for 3 days. And I thought to myself, gee, this is the hell of a way to live. I don't want to live anymore. So then they told me there at the hospital that, "You see anything yet? You see anything yet?" I said, "Well, I see light, but that's all." Slowly my eyesight come back. And of course, my eye is still dilated. My left eye, you see that.
Okay.
And that was already from the blast. Well, then, here I was, like I said, I was with the 30th Infantry. And then when I was ready to leave the hospital. That was after about 3 weeks of that. I was reclassified, and they put me in a 34th Station Hospital. And they made me, well, I played around with cars a lot and trucks, and I repaired them in my younger days. And in fact, I had my own shop already, and they made me a truck driver, so I was driving an ambulance.
Huh.
And I liked that, so then I was starting to have fun. But then, like I say, I was reclassified, and then, well, I thought I was being shipped home, after I got out of the hospital. And they said, no, we need you here. We need you here. So they put me in 34th Station Hospital, and that was in Italy, in Rome already, because we've already landed, and the war, for me, was over. And, of course, I was driving the ambulance there, and that, too. I got a picture of Dick Peter, a real good friend of mine, and we had a lot of fun together, And I thought to myself, geez, here I thought I was being sent home, and
Yeah.
no, they wouldn't send me home. They got a different job for me, and being reclassified that, and the truck driving, well, I kind of enjoyed that. Then I don't know how much longer it was, then I was sent home and being discharged from the Army. And too, with a Purple Heart and Bronze Star and
Now,
clusters. And,
Was the Purple Heart from that incident with the
Yeah,
bazooka? Is that how
yeah,
you received
yeah,
that? Okay.
yeah.
And how about your Bronze Star? How did?
Well, that was associated
Was
with
it all?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they got 4 prisoners out of that tank.
Oh. So you you got the tank?
Oh, yeah. Didn't I tell you?
No, huh?
I knocked the track off of that tank. I didn't know it.
Oh.
I didn't know it. And Escalante, I don't know whatever happened to him. I mean, they right away wheeled me in to the hospital, and I was out cold. Wow. I don't even remember that. Wow. And then the major come, and I don't know if he was to this day, I don't know whether he was from our outfit or not. But he brought me the Purple Heart.
I'll be
told me I got a Bronze Star with oak leaf clusters, and I said, for what? He said, well, you knocked the track off of that tank. We got 4 prisoners out of it. I said, I did? Well, that's nice.
Wow.
But then, shortly after that, I was sent home and discharged.
How was it? I always like to, for a person who's never been in combat, remotely has no idea what it's like. That time period, when you made the landings, and Anzio was tough fighting. There was nothing easy about that.
Yeah.
But I look at your guys' situation, and you're out in these slit trenches, out in the elements. You're not probably eating right.
No,
you're not sleeping
you're digging
right.
with a shovel this big,
Yeah.
this long, and dig down 3 feet and 6 feet long, Hey, that took a little time.
Well, I just can't. I can't understand it. Like I said, you're out in the elements in the slit trench. You're not eating properly.
No.
You're not sleeping properly. Hygiene's not good. I mean, any of that can knock a man down by
Even
itself.
water.
But then you had war on top of it. How do you think you made it through that time period?
Well, you were young. You didn't know any better.
Okay.
You didn't have any responsibilities or anything, Hey, you were glad that you had something to eat anyway. And that's where I got to love my peanut butter. That's what kept us in combat alive, believe it or not.
Wow.
Is peanut butter sandwiches, and and that's all that they give you.
Wow.
Yeah, and water, you were lucky to get water, and that too. You got your canteen, and you fill that up, and you were real careful how you drank that water so you didn't drink it before, you run out, and you were they filled you up again, but that, the canteen water, well, it only holds a quart.
Yeah.
How long does that last,
Jeez.
Maybe they'd come to visit you and send out the, what you call it? I've forgotten what they called it now, but to bring you the supplies,
Like
they
C rations
had to be
rations.
careful getting out and that, because we were in combat yet, and that too. But we got through it all.
Wow.
We got
Oh,
through
good.
it all.
Yeah.
We were at war, and we
Right.
were going to win, and
Yeah.
that's it. You
Yeah.
know, and
Right.
that too. And like I say, that I remember.
Yeah.
But
But and how long do you figure you were in the hospital?
about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then the food, that was good.
Sleeping in a bed.
And you get used to sleeping in the trench and that too. You live like an animal.
Yeah.
And that too. Cold. And I mean, when I think of it now, I said, Dad, how did we stand all
Well, that's what I can't comprehend.
Well-
I mean, I go out camping, but I know Sunday night when I get home, I'm going to go home to a warm house and a warm bed and a warm
Yeah,
meal.
but
You
you
guys
spend the
didn't.
night
You
there,
didn't know
yeah.
when you were going to sleep in a bed next, or oh.
Yeah, but that too, it's a heck of an experience. And of course now, I got to say one thing about the VA. They're surely taking care of us.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And Trump is doing a good job too. I don't know. I was always a Democrat, but hey, he's helping us a whole lot.
good.
And that too. I'm with Trump. I don't know about you, but I know there's a lot of people. My niece, she hates him because he got this and that, and I don't say anything. I let her talk. But I feel, hey, look at what it happened in only a year. He did more in a year than the last 2 presidents we had put together.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you said that the VA takes care of you. Do you still have problems with your eye at all?
no,
Any effects?
no, it's just that it's dilated.
Just dilated. Okay. Oh, good.
And like the hearing aids.
Now, do you attribute your hearing to the war? Your hearing loss to the war as well?
No. I don't know how that happened. I guess it's age.
Yeah. Okay.
But that too, I got that free of charge.
Yeah. Well,
And, I didn't.
no,
even have to pay
you earned
copay.
that. It wasn't given to you.
That's it.
You earned that.
But I appreciate that, and they take care of us. And we have our clinic here in Fort Collins, and they're wonderful.
Good,
They're
good.
wonderful. Yeah, I can't. I don't hear anyone complaining about that.
Well, good. That's good
You
to
get
hear.
people talking about this, that, and the other, and veterans aren't being really taken care of. Well, maybe we're the lucky ones here in Fort
Yeah,
Collins.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
we've got the main branch in Cheyenne, Wyoming. You know, that occasionally we have to go there for a test and that. But I sleep with this here CPAP. I got a mask at night because me stop breathing
Right,
during the night.
right.
And that too. I got it all set up with the hoses and that, where I don't have to walk around with this concentrator of mine.
Yeah.
That too, I make things work for myself.
Yeah.
you know.
Good.
I'm a master mechanic, and I make it myself and the way I want it.
So back to your story. So you're out of the hospital, and they put you into the hospital unit where you're an ambulance driver.
Yeah.
And that you were based out of Rome. Then you were in Rome.
Oh yeah.
So that must have been exciting to go around and see.
We garrisoned Rome.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful there,
Yeah.
and that too, a whole different world
Yeah,
for us,
yeah, sure.
and to be getting 3 square meals a day, I mean,
And bullets not flying at you. And
that's right. You listen to music, well, that I enjoyed that part, but that didn't last long.
So
Ship
were
me
you, did they ship you home before the war was over, or had the war ended when they
The
shipped?
war had ended.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
war had ended.
Okay.
Yeah, and they sailed us back home.
Yeah.
Then I think it was Camp Grant. I think I got it on a discharge where I was discharged and that. But that too, and it doesn't seem that long ago. So then after that, I proposed to her. We became
Well, talk about that reunion when you finally, after everything you'd been through and being away from her. What was it? Do you remember your reunion when you first came back to Chicago and saw her?
It was, it was like a dream. Wow. It was like a dream, And then she felt the same way about me than I did about her. even though that we were so long apart in that, through the communications of, well, it was her more than me, because I think she sent 10 letters to my one.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are two, we couldn't write when we wanted.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
two,
It'd be censored if you.
That's
Yeah.
it. But she wrote every day, and two.
Do you think she saw a different Chuck that went off to the war to the one that came back?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know really, because we got along beautifully.
So, yeah. Oh, good.
And that too. And we got married, and it wasn't a big splash or anything.
Yeah.
We had the family, and in fact, that's our wedding picture there.
Okay.
And of course, like I say, we were both working.
So you went back to your old job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they took me back with open arms, and put me in the maintenance department back. And of course, that's when I got the promotion of being supervisor over it. I had 3 men under me, and that too. And then 45 years being in the maintenance department, we never had anybody come in from the outside to repair any of the machinery.
Wow.
We did it ourselves.
Wow.
I become a tool maker also. I run the lathe, milling machine, grinders, you name it, I did it.
Wow.
And we made our own equipment, our own parts that we needed, except bearings that we had to buy.
Yeah.
And they never got any outside help.
Wow.
And then when I was ready to retire, I figured out, of course, we had this home already bought, and of course Aggie had to work another 2 months or so before she could retire. And I said, well, okay. I said, I'll fix up the house, and it'll be a surprise for you, because she saw the place when they start building it. And then, she liked it. Well, poor thing, she come off of a farm. So. But that's okay. So then that was after we were married. We had the place built, and then that too. My daughter, after the kids were born, this time passed by, and Renee come to work here. Well, I taught him how to ski, and we did a lot of skiing,
Wow.
and that's what I loved here about Fort Collins and Steamboat Springs, and I taught them how to ski, and we had a good time, and then Renee loved it here. She got a job at Fort Collins. She become a registered nurse, and she had an apartment here, and it cost a lot of money. And I said, well, before we move out here, why don't you move in here and take care of the place, and until we move out of Illinois, So that too, she enjoyed it here. I guess, I don't know. I've forgotten, but that too. Come out, and Aggie retired, but being at Binks in Illinois, I went up to the president. Well, in fact, his father and I used to be, I used to be his golf ball carrier, I call him golf ball carrier. I used to carry his, what do you call for him, because he was president of the company, and he liked to play golf. So he'd take me out with him, and, I'd carry his bag and all, and we got along well. Well, he had passed away, and Burke, his son, had taken over. And we got pretty well acquainted because he knew me from me taking care of his father, and that too. And I told him, I said, well, Burke, I said, I'm all set to retire now, and that was over 45 years, and I too, I when I think of it now, boy, was I crazy. I worked for pennies when I was that important there.
Yeah.
They didn't have to call in any outside
right,
help to
right.
repair the machinery. We
Right.
did it all ourselves, and well, I was making good money. I was satisfied with it.
Yeah.
I never asked for a raise or anything, and because I belonged to the union, and hey, that they took care of all that. So here, I wrote him a letter that I'm ready to retire, and that he called me in the office. He said, no. He said, you can't retire, Chuck. He said, you can't retire. And I said, well, Burke, I got that house built in Fort Collins, and I'm anxious to get out there. And I says, I spent my vacation out there working on it, and I said, I'm ready. He said, well, at that time we had a research and development plant in Boulder.
Oh,
And he
geez.
said, do me a favor. He said, I'd like for you to go out there at least a year, and get them guys out there straightened out. I looked at him, and I knew them guys too, because, I come here and I go visit them out there, and I got acquainted with a lot of them. And, well, I thought to myself, I said, but I'm ready to retire. I said, he said, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll give you an increase in pay by 1/3. Well, being of Bohemian descent, hey, I wasn't going to pass that up. I said, but just 1 year, that's all, just 1 year. He said, is that a deal? I looked around. I said, do I get that in writing? And we laughed about it. That's how close we were together, And he said, you want it? And I said, I'll give it to you. I said, no, I'm only kidding. I said, all right, we go. Go in the maintenance department in Boulder, Colorado. So there too. I wasn't in charge of that, but I worked with the guys, and that too. We straightened out a lot of problems. We got rid of a lot of junk that we didn't need, and we bought new machinery and that, and I was teaching the guys how to run the machinery and that, and I had a good time. I didn't mind. So that too. But can you imagine?
Did you just do your 1 year, or did you stay on longer?
1 year.
Oh, okay.
That was the contract.
Okay.
That was 1 year, and that too. After that, why, I heard that Binks was sold to Centennial Air. That's what they are now. They took over all the all the businesses, and I didn't know that at that time. I didn't know that we had businesses all over the world, And in fact, I was looking at this here, give you an idea of what it is. Oh,
Yeah.
the camera.
We'll pull it out later.
Yeah. Well, here, I got it right in the drawer here. It's it's a list of all our places that we do business at, where we have setting our equipment to, and that too. We were always shipping something out of the shipping room and that, We even built a conveyor for them to convey it out to the shipping room, and that was part of the job,
Wow.
And I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But then again, got home and I enjoyed being retired.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that too.
So you retired, and you guys came out west, and
Then Aggie come out, and then of course we were married already, and we lived in Chicago for a while.
Yeah.
I think about 2 years after we were married, then we moved out here, and that too. She got acquainted with a lot of people around here, and that, in fact, we were the second house on the block.
wow.
Yeah, so over 34 years I lived here now.
I'll be darned.
And then unofficially I'd become captain of the block.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anybody that moved in with a new house, I went to introduce myself, and I got to know them, and I helped them with their cars, and I told them, hey, to this day, if the old ones that are still here, there's not too many left.
Right.
I tell you have any, well, I can't I can't do much with my fingers anymore. I have no feeling in them. I said, but before you have any work done on the car, bring me your estimates and I'll take the car for a ride and tell you whether you need it or not.
Wow.
And that too, they appreciate that. And that, well, I love them all.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah.
have to be. And now it's changing.
Yeah,
It's changing, and people have moved out. Now they're renting the places out to the kids, the college kids, and that. You know, and it's a whole new
Yeah,
ball
yeah,
game.
yeah.
It's different attitudes and all.
Right.
And we got to get. Of course, we like to keep the surroundings clean and that. You know. And the people that are moving in, well, the kids that are renting, they're not going to.
Yeah.
It took 2 days for them to shovel off the snow there. I mean, across the street, and you know that too. Well, we got a new law now that after 24 hours, you know, the city will come out and do it and charge
Right,
them. So,
right.
but I got 2 of them that are renting that place there from Alaska. So they don't know what goes on here,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And but that too, it's changed the world.
So let's talk a little bit about family. You and Aggie were married, been married 71 years,
Yeah.
and you talked about Renee. Is Renee your only daughter, or do you have other children?
Yeah, she's my only daughter.
Okay.
I had a son, and of course, Gordon. He at 24, he and his boyfriend went to a theater, and I guess they were up in the balcony or so, and where there were stairs, and he slipped on the stairs and sheared something in his spine and bled to death.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was only 24 years of age. So I had great plans for him, but
Yeah.
then Renee, she was younger than he, 4 years younger, and she got to be my doll.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, too, she, now she's taking care of me instead of me taking care of her yet. And no, she's taking care of me. And now, of course, they had 2 children. They had Allison and Lance. Like I say, Lance, he's in Arizona, and he's getting married July 1st
Oh.
this year. Can you imagine? So, but the only thing that he's getting married in California, and I hate traveling now
Oh,
because
yeah,
there's such
yeah.
a problem with this oxygen and that.
Sure.
The kids getting married, and I was at Allison's wedding, you know, and of course I said, Dad, don't worry about anything because everything's going to be taken care of, and we're working on it now. And what can you say?
Yeah, yeah,
And so,
yeah.
all right. So hopefully we'll go out there and enjoy it.
Oh, good.
That too.
Good. Good.
Of course,
good.
I met his fiancee, and that too. I give her a Christmas present, you know, and that, and we get along fine.
Good, wonderful.
So I
Yeah.
said, yeah,
Good.
well, that's nice. You know, get a Christmas card from her, and that too.
Nice.
Send one back, you know, a little donation. Yeah. So we're pretty friendly, because like Lance, I don't know, it was surprising that, you know, here last year when he told us about it, and he, I said, well, wow, you know, boy, and then they come engaged, and I said, geez, I said, July 1st, geez, that's a pretty good birthday present, because mine, 24th
Oh,
of
that's
July.
right. Yeah, that's right.
Birthday,
You bet.
so
Yeah.
that's a nice birthday present.
Yeah.
But that's practically a story of my life. Now
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, doing things I want, but then again,
Yeah.
I'm limited.
Yeah, sure.
I'm limited, and too here, I'm going Monday for another driver's test.
Right. You're talking about that. Yeah.
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 And they're driving race cars and building race
Yeah,
cars and
yeah.
all flying planes and boats, sailing boats.
Yeah.
And they take my license away because I only
Yes.
had one answer wrong
Wow.
on the written test. And well, I passed the written test now, but I still got to take a driving test.
Right,
Well,
right.
that doesn't bother me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that too, I'm used to driving well, stick shift, on the car and race cars and that, and holding the steering wheel with one hand, and I've got on the car, I've got the shifting knob there, so I'm steering with one hand, and I'm resting, I'm relaxed driving.
Yeah.
I got gigged on that. You hold the steering wheel with two hands. So I missed the test, the written test, by 1 point, and then I was gigged on a couple of these because I wasn't holding the steering wheel with two hands. And here, this here little bridge we have here crossing the creek, and you got the stop sign right there, and there's hardly any traffic passing around there.
Yeah.
So you're going on, and I went to stop, and no cars coming. I got my foot off the brake, and the weight of the car's going down the slope, down the hill. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom! Something hit me. I turned around and she's got me. And this is for the driving test. I'm driving a different car.
Oh, right.
Not my own.
Yeah.
And I said, "What was that?" She said, "Well, you didn't stop. I had to stop you." I didn't know that they had a vehicle. That's why they were using our vehicle with a brake
On her side.
on her side. And when I backed out of my driveway and I hit that brake, it felt bad. It felt bad. And then when I hit that, I said, "There's something wrong with these brakes." I slowed down because the guy was making a turn there. I slowed down and said, "Hey, there's something wrong with these brakes." She looked at me, she said, "No, nothing's wrong with them." I said, "Yeah, they're too hard." Yeah. I said, "You have to push too hard on them." Then I found out why. Because she hit the brake, she said, "You didn't stop."
Wow.
I said, "Yes, I did." She said, "I had to stop you." I looked at her. How'd you stop me?" She said, "I had a brake on this side." I said, "I didn't know that." I said, "Oh, that's why you got two master cylinders, and this is why you had to feed them both." I said, "Okay," and then I can understand why that brake is bad. But I was gigged on that.
Wow.
So now I got to take a driver's test all over again, but I know I'm going to pass, no problem at all.
Along those lines, what I really enjoy about these interviews is everything you've seen in your lifetime as far as the changes. I mean, we talked earlier about that Model A that you rebuilt, and now we're close to having driverless cars. I mean, just all the changes you've seen in your lifetime, it must be amazing. And,
it is. I mean, and I had my own business. I repaired cars, and I got here the other day, I'm cleaning up, I've got my the pad for repaired. Linhart's Auto Repair, and the address and all, and for the receipts and all that I give them after doing the work. And I sprayed cars, and that time I sprayed a car for $60, and including the paint and all, and then in 3 months I bring it back and I simonize it for them. At that time, boy, you had it'd take 3 hours to simonize the car, doing it properly, And that too, of course. Now I got a spray I can spray on in 5 minutes and wipe it off, and it's waxed. But that too. I had a business going, and even in Illinois, I had a pit in my garage.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
repairing cars, and at that time mufflers and that. You had to work underneath the cars, and that too. I used to be able to pick a transmission out of a car, and now I can't pick up over 10 pounds. And that's what hurts most. I know how to do it, but my fingers won't let me.
Yeah, you're 95, you're almost 95.
Well, that's like Bill says. He said, "What do you want? We're almost 100. I said, "Well, not yet, but we're pretty good friends there.
Yeah. Well,
But the two.
As we to start to wind down this interview, is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about, or any other stories that have kind of floated to the top since we've been sitting here
Like
talking?
I said, I can't remember them all.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
even
know.
when the children were small, teaching them how to ride a bike, teaching them how to roller skate, teaching them how to skate, and that was all fun, too. That, of course, like Lewis and Gordon was was a big thing for
Oh,
me because
sure,
I had
yeah.
such great plans for him
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he was 24 years old,
Right,
you know, and hey, he was pretty sharp. I
Wow.
mean, he was very intelligent, and something like that to happen to him, and
Wow.
now poor Aggie, she's suffering so bad.
Yeah,
You know, it's sad.
Wow.
I don't know. In God we trust, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's happening? Like Aggie, it's like her living in hell now, and you know, many times she's told me when I come to visit her, did you bring me poison? I mean, things like that, you know. And that too. A couple of times coming home, that's when I was driving. Well, the kids take me now. They don't want me to drive. But that too brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
coming home thinking about how she's feeling. And
Right.
every time we come, she thinks I'm coming to pick her up and take her home. And that too, she's got a King Super plastic bag packed. She got a pair of shoes in there. I don't know, some underwear or something. And she's all packed, ready to go. So I have to lie to her and tell her, well, the doctor hasn't told me that you're ready to take up yet, and I can't unless he tells me.
Yeah.
Well, that changed the subject right away.
Yeah.
And now it gotten to the point where we have to sneak out of there, you know, because she thinks she's coming home with us.
Oh, wow.
But that Alzheimer's, you know,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
terrible.
bad disease.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
it's terrible. But that too, it's
Well, the
life.
last question
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, well, actually two questions. In the time since the war, have you ever had a chance to go back to Europe and retrace any of your steps or any desire to do so?
No desire
Yeah.
at all. No, not at all. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
I think about it a lot, and well,
Yeah.
that's gone, forgotten about.
Is it? Oh, good. That was another question too. I forgot to ask you earlier. When you returned home from the war, was there any? Did you have any problems with nightmares or flashbacks or any of
No,
that?
not really. I
Really?
was happy.
Oh, good.
I was happy.
Oh,
You
good.
know,
You were able to put that behind you.
Well, one time when I had that seizure, Aggie said that it was terrible. That I almost jumped out of bed and I was screaming. I don't remember that. I wound up in the hospital. And that too. Right now, I haven't had a seizure because I'm taking medications for it, but they're watching pretty close.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that too. And I don't remember that.
Yeah,
That too.
yeah. Oh, good.
And that's the only thing that I don't know to this day what caused it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'll be darned.
And that was about 2:00 in the morning. They say that I had it,
Wow.
and and now too, short memory I have.
Yeah.
That bothers me too because I get introduced to somebody and 5 minutes later to say goodbye to them, I can't
Yeah.
mention their name.
Right. Right. Well, that
I'm
happens all of us.
surprised that I remembered your name. Yeah. Well, that was because of Bill.
Yeah.
He let me know when he talked to you last and that. And I said, well, okay. I said, he's got to get a new camera on. I said,
Yeah.
we're waiting, that's all.
Yeah. Well, the last question I always like to ask in these interviews, Chuck, is when you look back on your time in the service, and particularly all that you went through, did it play a role in your life, affect your life, change your life at all, or was it just simply a chapter in your life that you went through? How would you answer that?
Well, it taught me to respect people, you know, even if they do something wrong or that. Look, forget about it, you know. It didn't hurt anybody, maybe a feeling now and then,
Yeah.
but then again, that's why Agnes and I really got along, because, like I say, there were things that she had did that I didn't like at the time.
Yeah.
But then again, there must have been a reason for it. You know, it was either to save a buck or something
Yeah,
like that. And we forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, we just roll over it and that's it. And there isn't one time that we really got really angry at one another. Never.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
wonderful.
that
Wow.
too. And that too, it... but her sister was a different story.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she wasn't like her. And
Yeah.
that too. And my niece, she lives in Des Plaines, Illinois, and I'm the only one that is left out of the whole family. So she calls me every week.
Wow.
She's to check on me and check on her. And she too, poor thing, she lost her leg due to a nail infection. Can you imagine that? They had to cut her foot off 4 inches from the knee, and that too. And she's living alone. She lost her husband. So when we get on the phone, hour and a half, we tell each other our problems. You know. Now I got something else to tell her about. My mice that I got. So that too. And like I say, she has got a hard time. She lost her husband. She's living alone without, one leg and getting in and out of the car and that. And of course, she's got pretty good neighbors helping her too. So, and I've got pretty good neighbors helping me. So,
Good.
So I'm pretty fortunate that way.
Very good. Well, Chuck, I want to thank you for sitting down to tell your story this afternoon, but more importantly, I want to thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you. I never get tired of hearing that. Yeah, I get, even today, you know what happened at Cracker Barrel? Bill and I, we sit by ourselves most of the time, because I got this concentrator I use a chair on, and here, we're not paying any attention to it, but usually here comes a girl, comes up to us, and of course we got the bill, and Bill told me today, she said, well, I'm taking home a menu for Barb. That's his daughter. And she takes us down there, And I said, well, that's fine, Bill. That's fine. So here, married our favorite girl that takes care of us, she comes and she lays the bill down, and Bill says, hey, it's my turn. It's my turn. I said, well, no, you paid last week. I said, it's my turn. He said, no, I'm buying Barb, to take home. And he said, I got it. So he gets there and puts it by his plate, And here comes a girl, comes over to congratulate us because he's got his bomber hat on, and me with my Second World War vet. The girl comes up and she picks up the tab. And I look at her and I go, what is she doing that for? I didn't say anything, but I thought to myself, what is she doing that for? And then she turns to me, she said, I want to thank you for your services. And she said, I'm picking up the tab.
Wow.
I said, well, that's number 11 already. Yeah. So I'm wearing my cap, and so is Bill wearing his, Can you imagine?
That's a wonderful story. That's good to hear. Well, you guys deserve it, for sure.
Thank you. That's one of my pictures too.
Okay.
I love. Well, that's me. Just before I come home, I guess it was taken. I don't know. I don't remember that far back, but.
Well, it's on a nice tapestry too.
Well, that's when I had a lot of hair. Dick P. That's his name, and he was driving. I was driving the ambulance, and he was driving the priest around from the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And I said we got to be pretty friendly.
Now, I forgot to ask you as well. After the war, did you stay in touch with any of the guys you served?
No, I don't know what happened to them all. I mean, after I was discharged, that was it. But that's one of the pictures we had together. And, well, those are a couple of my friends that we were in Rome with.
Wow.
After I come home.
Wow.
Yeah. That too.
Chuck, can you talk about your medals here?
Well, yes, that's the medals I got. The Purple Heart, and there's a symbol from 3rd Division, and of course my dog tags down here, and
The Bronze Star.
Bronze Star, and Good Conduct Medal.
Good conduct. Yeah. Yeah. That
That
was a hard one to get, I bet, for you.
yeah.
And what insignia is that?
That's the 78 Division.
Oh, okay.
That's where I got my basic training through.
Okay.
And then I was put into the 3rd Division.
Okay.
That's a
And Chuck, how about these medals here? Can you talk? There's your combat infantry
that's a rifleman.
rifleman.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple other medals that I don't remember what they're for
Yeah.
anymore. I don't know, one's a sharpshooter, and these bees are the ones that I told you about
Wow.
that saved my life. And,
Wow.
Yeah. That's the one that my father made a slave out of me.
Oh boy.
See, all that stuff was all handmade. All meat was hand cut. Started from a whole pig, and it had to be butchered and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, this is my Uncle George, and he was my mother's twin, and he treated me better than my own father did.
Hmm.
This is before we were married. That's my mom and Agnes.
Hmm. Holding a picture of you.
Maybe you want a better picture than that, huh? A larger one? No.
And this is your wedding picture, Chuck?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
That's my son, Gordon.
Hmm.
That's my lovely daughter, Renee. That's a steamboat. That's Egg and I.
Up skiing. Wow.
Yep. That's right.